Welcome back. Today, we have a great BDG Bets viewers. We're going over the very anticipated AFC South.
Is it very anticipated?
Dude, we've been asked this one, honestly, probably underrated. The most. This one in the AFC North might be the most requested.
The sleeper division.
It's a sleeper division with a lot of question marks, a lot of hammers on a lot of teams here that people are trying to hit the nail. We have a lot of players to go over. We're going to start with Tennessee Titans as they have the lowest overall total, win total, 6.5. We're not starting very high. Obviously, their schedule is all the way on the right. We have the underdog players in the middle if you're new here, and we have the win total line at 6.5 on the left side of your screen. Jameson.
Big over.
You're believing?
I'm very bullish on the Titans this year. They're my sneaky good team. Sneaky playoff team. Ain't no
playoff team.
Oh, they might get
so,
this.
You're taking plus money all day.
Yes, I'm taking the over on the Titans here.
All right, let's get the realists over there. What are we thinking?
I mean, I like the over. 6.5. It's a low total, and you got a new head coach. I like Mike Vrabel, but I think Callahan can bring a lot of new offensive stuff to it. I think, it's probably good for Will Levis's development. You got Calvin Ridley in there. You still have D-Hop, who I think's got some juice. You lose Derrick Henry, but you know what? That sucks, but you got a new identity anyway. So I'm excited for at least the Tennessee offense. The defense, I think, maybe it's a little bit of a question mark, but
brought in L'Jarius.
Brought in L'Jarius Sneed.
And
I feel like the D-line.
Wait, did they just bring in Jamal Adams too?
I feel like I've heard it
I
so
think
many
it's
different
Chidobe.
ways.
It's Cheetah Bay. Yeah.
Why do you think
I've
that?
always heard it as Chidobe.
Now that it is.
Anyway, doesn't matter what its pronunciation is. What does matter, didn't they just bring in Jamal Adams too?
That's
Does that matter? Is that a good thing
It just
or a
is.
bad thing?
I have a feeling he's.
It's like good aura.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's good
He's
drip
literally
added to the
negative
defense.
He's negative locker room.
No, he's
minus 10.
I wish
he
you
might
didn't
be
tell
the
me
best
that, to be
box
honest.
safety in the league.
Yeah, he fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted the
He
Raiders
just
to
needs
get
to
him.
play linebacker.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think people are looking at this completely wrong. It's fun that they brought in a more offensive mind, brought in Calvin Ridley and another year under Will Levis. But the whole thing, the reason the Titans have always been scrappy and hard to beat is because of Vrabel and that sort of identity. And now they're going to be identity-less because in theory they want to be this throw it all over the field type of team. But we don't even know if Levis is good enough to do that. The microscope wasn't on him last year, so when he made those big throws, they were just highlights that you saw on Twitter. But no one was actually watching all the incompletions.
Cook!
All the incompletions, the lack of accuracy.
All right,
That would
sorry,
make
the
way too
SD
much
card cut off,
sense,
so the
right?
camera cut off. So wherever the fuck we cut off, that's where we're going to restart.
Throw in B-roll wherever.
We're gonna throw in-
kept talking.
Yeah, I'll throw in just random B-roll for
Mike
3
Vrabel
minutes.
highlights as a Patriot.
This is what they're
Yep.
losing.
Anyway, what we were saying, generally summarized, is the identity change might not be a good thing, might end up shaking things up, but Tony's optimistic about it.
That was my biggest takeaway. Tony's very bullish on Tennessee.
I'm not very bullish. I also think that this is a tough division. 6 of the games they play are not going to be easy. So at the very least, they also got. I mean, I can't read the schedule from here. I kind of think trying to predict the schedule is a little overrated. We don't actually know how good these teams
those
are.
first
agree
4
with that.
weeks
Yeah.
could be very tough.
Yeah, I mean, you start
entire-
Chicago,
Yeah,
you
we
start
don't know.
at Chicago, Jets, Green Bay at home, and then you have Miami heading into your bye at week 5.
Early bye
Early
week,
bye is tough.
tough.
And then you come out, Indy, Buffalo, Detroit, live.
That's what I'm saying.
Indy, is Indy
by
going to
the
be
way,
good?
In a
I'm
team,
just
in a,
looking at them as the Cardinals, like a sneaky team you don't want to play.
in
You
a
don't-
team where they're trying to put on a new identity and they go through a gauntlet in the first half of the season, that seems like a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
And
But maybe Will Levis just whips it out and then
I
puts
mean,
it on the fucking
if
table.
we're talking about cock size, Will Levis's penis is massive. So you have to take that.
God.
You have to take that with a grain of salt.
I can't wait to leave that in there.
Should. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, you're just missing out. But yeah, they're going to be no more loaded boxes. You lost the king, and he's going to be loading boxes with his piece and throwing interceptions.
Yeah. I mean, 6.5 wins feels really, really low. I'm pretty sure the Texans last year, they might have been a 6.5, 5.5 win. They were a 6-win team projected to start the year. That was bottom of the barrel last year. I don't think Titans are
I don't get
bottom
that
of the barrel
point
team.
because they were the surprise team of the entire NFL.
But I'm just saying, remember how low of expectations we had
Yeah.
for the Titans? They're
for the Texans. Yeah.
Texans.
Yeah.
We're essentially being the Titans this year have just as lowest expectations as the Texans last year.
And you were saying...
Yeah, but I feel like their variance of results are a lot smaller because we know what we essentially know what Levis provides.
Yeah, I'm not
CJ
saying
Stroud
that,
was a
but
rookie.
like I just don't think. Yeah,
I think it's still tough to see what Levis can provide in an offense that isn't a single
Run
back,
first, yeah.
2 tight end set.
Yep.
Like you're loading the box every single play to run the ball.
Yep.
I think Levis didn't really play that game in college that much at Kentucky, where I think now if he is more in a shotgun set, they can use him in the run game a little bit more. They could set him up pretty well.
While that could be one outcome in that system in Kentucky, he also didn't win a lot of games in that.
No.
And he
But it's
got
also
exposed.
Kentucky fucking sucks. Like
So
at
does
fair-
the tight. That's what I'm saying.
That's fair enough. That's
He
fair
could
enough.
get exposed by having to throw it more. That's all.
Yeah, no, I get that.
He's gonna be the GOAT.
So JMO says the Titans are going to be the 2021 Bengals.
Yeah, JMO's like bad player, good season, good player, bad season.
No, I wouldn't go Bengals Super Bowl run, but I'm thinking like 2022 Seahawks, where we thought Geno and the Seahawks were going to be a bad team. Last year's Texans, 2022 Texans, thought they were going to be a bad team, and they make the playoffs in the wild
Okay.
card.
I mean,
like
to be
that
fair,
comment.
when the Bengals did make their Super Bowl run, they were projected to be about
Yeah,
a 6-win
yeah,
team.
yeah.
yeah, I'm just not putting that type
Right,
of
no, that's
ceiling
fair.
on them.
No, I think that's accurate.
All right, heading to underdog lines. Anything we like from this team? There's only 4 players up right now,
Over
but
on Will Levis's passing yards.
3,400.
I don't know about
Fading
that.
Casey.
D-Hop at 4.5 touchdowns seems low, just because, I mean, maybe it's because he had like a 3-touchdown game last year?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of just think that's probably in his range of outcomes on a week-to-week basis, because Levis will be like, fuck it and chuck it down
Yeah.
at D-Hop
You don't think
somewhere.
Calvin affects him?
Affects D-Hop? Like,
Yeah, and Boyd. Adding Boyd
If
in
the
there.
identity is what you guys say, and
Yeah.
they're losing games and playing from behind, in theory, there should be some places where you can get some hires on the passing game.
All right.
Yeah. I like D-Hop going into this year more than last year simply
Right.
because of the change.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Nope,
like
fair
that.
enough. We've spoken enough about the Titans.
Over.
We can move on.
Yeah, I
to the
mean-
next
Over.
win
my
total.
God.
Jacksonville Jaguars 8.5, and they
That's
are favored to go over. Are they the greatest? Some are saying. I typed in one too many nines for Trevor Lawrence, as he has 39,000 passing yards. But he is a 4K passing total and a 300-yard rushing total. 22.5 tugs, 3.5 rushing tugs. Probably the most polarizing player on this entire team. And the schedule, thoughts?
How many
Over.
games did they win last year?
9-8.
They went 9-8.
Back-to-back 9-8s.
Why?
They'll
Why
probably
what?
go 9-8
Does that feel
again.
low? 8.5
Yeah.
for the Jags, right?
But
It feels even
they're
weirder that
not
the-
a great team.
Are
No.
they not? No.
I don't
I
think
mean-
Their defense isn't great. The O-line's cock.
Do they still have Josh Allen, or did he get traded?
so. They still got
So
it.
even he's
dog.
They just signed him.
coming
Big
off his
contract.
peak year. Like, is he really going to be better or match that? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Yeah. It's
Off the bat, I feel like ETN, like everyone keeps expecting ETN to drop off. Like they brought in Tank, and they were expecting him to like take over a bunch of carries, which he didn't.
yeah.
Like I just feel like ETN gets slept on every single year. Like he's always going to regress, and he just continues to be extremely solid. So I like 6.5 touchdowns a lot.
Yeah, no, I like the touchdown total. I mean, I get he had 11 rushing last year, 12 total last year. So the drop off will definitely happen. Does it drop off
7, yeah.
4 or 5? That's the question. If Tank is not a thing this year, Travis is going to absolutely eat.
Dude, I really like Christian Kirk's touchdown line. I think with both this team and the Titans, they had the wrong line to the wrong guy. Like, they got Brian Thomas touchdowns over Kirk. I
That's
feel
just
like
because he's going to be the biggest body. He was known as the best.
Yeah, but-
he was the best hands in college football. Caught the most touchdowns in college football.
I feel like in the
Like-
red zone, they like to throw it to who they trust.
I'm going to be honest. In the red zone, I don't think that this team, as the Jaguars and Doug Peterson in general, throws the ball much in
They
general.
Right.
suck so
ETN,
much.
that's what I'm saying. ETN used to get like
Yeah.
3 opportunities every time they were within the
100%. And they don't throw the ball much. Even, I'm going to be honest, even in the 10 zone, which is the 10-yard line in, they don't throw the ball much.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like I almost, earlier in the season, I was super on the Brian Thomas touchdowns. Maybe I still will be, but it really depends how this offense looks. I'm just going to fade taking either side of it. The yards was up, if you remember what it was. I didn't catch it in time. Now it's off.
800.
I'm making an AFC South play right now. Yeah.
It's
I
accumulating everything.
I don't know if this is just in my group chat, but I feel like this is kind of like a polarizing, like T-Law, not make or break year.
No, it is 100% a make or
right?
break
Okay,
year.
so that's
Like, if he gets shit on, Tony will never like him.
To be
in
honest,
any
I kind of
capacity.
felt like last year was, and then he didn't make it, and now we're just pushing it to
no.
this year.
I haven't heard the amount of discourse around like is T-Law going to be that guy. as much until this year for sure.
I
This
think
is the first
last
time
year,
I've heard it about
it was more just the fact of like he got hurt like so many times that it was just like, all right, you kind of, and the fucking O-line was literally like one of the bottom 5 in the league. It was like he couldn't really get anything going.
I'm concerned because it's like probably not going to be better.
Are you guys T-Law guys?
Yeah.
Like, I think he's great.
Yeah, no, I think T-Law is a good player.
They think like top 5 great.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously idiotic, but I think he's a very good quarterback.
I think he's like top 6, top 7 great right now.
That seems
Like, because I think,
but
again, he's the
clear
highest
top
EPA.
10.
He's the highest EPA loss last season. So you think about that as pretty much he lost the most opportunity to have more yards and total points
No, I'm a T-Law
on dropped
guy for
passes.
sure. Yeah.
Which sucks.
You get rid of Calvin Ridley. That's a good start to dropped passes.
It's not even necessarily even drop passes. It's passes where he'll catch it and his toes out. It's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So that's another thing you have to like factor in. The schedule isn't horrible. Miami, Cleveland, Buffalo, Houston, Indy, Chicago, New England.
I just don't give a shit about schedule either.
Well, you have to.
Well, Indy,
predicting is
Chicago.
one thing, but caring about the schedule definitely is a thing. Like
Yeah.
There's obvious cupcakes on schedules, and
The Indy, Chicago, New England stretch of 3 games could all be wins for them.
Yep.
Like New England ain't fucking shit. Chicago really's up in the air with the rookie situation with Williams. And then we don't really know what the Colts are yet, if AR is healthy, where that team's going to go. It could be a scrappy team. Don't really want to play them. We also have a lot of question marks about Buffalo. Are they back? Is Josh Allen going to
I
carry?
think they're going to be good.
Again, you have to assume so.
Dude, I think T-Law kind of owns the Bills. I think he's 2-0 on them, which
Okay,
isn't a
that is
lot,
a small
but
sample.
Owns them.
One of the wins was when he had Urban Meyer.
Urban Meyer's a
Damn.
dumb coach. You know that.
Urban
Beat
Meyer.
him in London last year and in his rookie season.
I mean, I feel like London is such a wild card. I almost feel like that comes.
That's total. It's a normal fucking game. That's like getting that blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
It's
but
not that big of a difference.
the one line that does stick out, I think, that we haven't talked about, Evan Ingram. Big season last year. Absolute reception hog. 3.5 tugs. I get he had more
the
receptions than
is
tugs.
Never great.
No.
I mean,
but the
also-
yards, 725?
Also, a lot of it came when Christian Kirk went down. Like his splits, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's an insane jump up in production when Christian Kirk got hurt. He basically just obviously didn't fill in the exact position, but like production wise, just like took Kirk's job.
All right. That's why we talk about it.
Which is why I'm back on Kirk, dude. Kirk feels.
I love Kirk. He was the number one when he was healthy with Ridley, and now no Ridley. Like, I think he's going to get fed.
Yeah, me too.
Like, he was better. Wasn't he better statistically than Ridley last year?
100%.
I
also,
agree.
like, I
Kirk
just
is
think
someone in fantasy draft, like a redraft
1000%.
setup that I'm
100%.
I think it's also too like it feels like he has good chemistry with T-Law, which is obviously something that BTJ is not going to have right now. Like I just think like Kirk is T-Law's guy.
All right. Sounds good. We can move on.
Got 2 legs in this parlay right now.
2 legs. Now we're heading into Indianapolis. Speaking of Indy, are they going to be a good team? Well, Vegas thinks 8.5 is a good line.
Dude,
Shane
Michael Pittman at 4.5 touchdowns.
Steichen.
4.5 touchdowns across the board, dude.
Pittman, 4.5.
I don't
is a
like this
yard
one as
guy.
much. Yeah,
I think it's
don't
also
like
you're
this.
banking on Anthony Richardson then to throw him 5 touchdowns.
you also and A Rich is going to be their number one option in the red zone. That changes a lot.
Yeah. That's
Michael
I
it's
feel like
tough.
there will be like 0 passing in the.
Yeah, you have A Rich and Jonathan Taylor in the red zone. I don't know how many touchdowns are being thrown in total. What is his touchdown?
Inside the
21.5 easy under.
Right?
Easy under. Like me and
total.
JMO were like, this might be the lockiest under.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think the Colts.
Rushing at 7.5?
Is there concern
That's
that
more than ETN.
He had 4 last year in 4 games.
And do you think they're going to take care of him this year? Or
I don't even think it was.
So, no, this is what I was gonna say. Is there concern to like running's always gonna be part of A Rich's game,
course.
but like the dude did get hurt like as soon as he
Josh
stepped on
Allen is the
field.
only quarterback I've seen who doesn't change his play style once he gets to the NFL and hasn't gotten hurt as a result.
I completely understand that. My only
Even
thing
Kyler
is
slides.
but Kyler slid in college. He's a baseball player. Brother
But
slides
Kyler's
for a
way
living.
smaller than A Rich.
He's-
A Rich
He could
is
be
bigger
Jalen-
than linebackers.
he could be what Jalen is. That's the comp.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying.
Jalen
is
just
Hurts
gets out of bounds.
down too.
Yeah. But like even if he gets down, one, you have to remember he's coming off a surgery where it was his throwing shoulder.
Right.
Okay, so don't you think they're going to want to almost take pressure off of that and run more if he's not going to take hits?
What's more strenuous, getting tackled and landing on it or throwing?
That's what I'm saying. If he's going down.
It so that you can throw with no problems. It's just the constant blows if he's getting hit. I mean, I'm certainly not a doctor.
Yeah,
but
no, Dr. Case in the room.
I would just imagine that they repair it so that you can obviously throw without pain.
No, I think, obviously they're going to repair it so he's healthy.
Right.
But what I'm saying from if you're looking at this from a structural standpoint of one, how Steichen runs the offense.
Right.
And two, just in general, looking at a player as athletic as Anthony Richardson is, aren't you going to want to try to run some options with JT, try to get him in space, try to get him out of bounds? But because he's a 4.4 40 guy.
Yeah.
Insane.
I think the Colts are going to be good.
Just over.
I just don't like any lines in particular because I just think they can play off each other so well. I could see Anthony Richardson getting 7 rushing touchdowns and Jonathan Taylor getting 9. And it's they both played extremely well, scored a ton of touchdowns in the red zone, and you still didn't get there.
Dude, if you look at the defensive teams they even play, I'm not really threatened by many of them.
They're also in a dome.
In a dome? Big dome energy. Big dome. Damn. Big dome energy.
Pittman's line moved up to 5.
Did it?
Yeah,
Under.
I'm out.
Under.
We're pivoting to Anthony Richardson rush.
I kind of like that under. You get the push on 5.
Yeah. Push on 5?
What's the most he's had? Maybe 7?
Yeah, I think it was last season.
He's not a big touchdown guy.
No, he's not. I think the 1,000 yards is almost like a Mike Evans where you take it because it's Michael Pittman at this point. He's going to get over 1,000.
Disagree.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think Pittman he does really well.
He's a consistent. You know what you're getting 1,004.
I just also think there's literally no one else that they're throwing the ball to.
No, just Josh Downs, Adonai, where his line is so fucking low that probably won't use him.
He had 1 in 2020, 6 in 21, 4 in 22, and 4 in 23. Who was the quarterback in 2021 for the Colts?
Wentz.
Carson, baby.
Did
he have 27 and 7 that season?
Yeah, I like Pittman lower than 5 touchdowns, get the push on 5. I like that a lot.
Dub.
This is sneakily a top 2 division, top 3 division.
Which is why it was heavily anticipated. People wanted to
I
hear
think the Colts are good.
It's definitely a good division, but then you think dude, there's some heater divisions out there.
Steichen's that guy.
This is it, dude.
No, dude, even in the AFC, you got the East.
Even going over
about
AFC
the East,
West.
you got the North.
The North is the best division in football.
Right. The West is I'll give you the West. West ain't good outside of the Chiefs, but this also might be the 3rd best division in the AFC.
Right. Well, the AFC is better than the NFC, but yes, I agree that we are. I mean, we're 3 through and we haven't gotten above an 8.5 win total. How good could the division really be?
Unless the Titans just win 10 games. Or these guys win 10 games. 9.5 juiced over for the Houston Texans. Minus 145, plus 120 for the under. We have a lot of lines. One of them is not CJ's. He got taken off UD for now. Don't know where his line's going to move to, but clearly it's moving somewhere. But for now, we have Tank Dell, Mixon, Nico, Diggs, and Schultze. The schedule on the right, honestly, doesn't scare me.
Tank Dell touchdowns line.
4.5?
He had 7 last year in 10 games.
Is he just
no Diggs,
that guy?
obviously.
Do you think Diggs is really going to first off, his line being 974.5 is actually insane. But
Why?
2,
You think that's high?
it's just a weird number.
Oh.
It's
I mean, 975 yards. That's a good number.
Yeah. It's a good number.
Just give him 1,000. But do you really think this team's going to hold damn near 3 1,000-yard receivers? Tank at 825, Nico at over 1,000, Stephon Diggs at 1,000, Dalton Schultz damn near at 600.
Yeah, I don't know.
CJ throwing for fucking 6K? What are we doing?
How do you guys would know better in the fantasy best ball space? How do you pick when you have 3 great receivers? What do you do? Do you stay away from all of them? Pick
You
one
normally
and hope
pick.
you get
You
it
normally
right?
pick the PPR one is normally first, the guy who's gonna get the most receptions, and then that's the main part
You just fade them.
for the most part.
Yeah, that's what I think is probably a
at
good
least
play.
in underdog, all these guys are going in the first 3 rounds.
Right, and which only one of them will probably hit that ADP.
Yeah, so
that just makes me think, take the highest, which is Nico, and go lower. Is that a bad strategy?
I don't like that.
that's
Nico, I definitely
up?
like
Alright.
as the best. I think the addition of Stephon Diggs probably hurts Tank Dell the most. Dude, I think Nico's
Stroud's that
just
fucking guy.
Nico is so good, dude.
I agree.
He had such a good season last year. I'm just
He's also such a good underneath route runner.
Sure.
It's where it's like he gets the separation you want from a bigger receiver at 6'4".
And they play in a dome.
Like against
Oh.
like man and zone, like I don't know. I forget the exact numbers, but Nico Collins was one of those dudes on reception perception that was dominating.
No, yeah, he was.
This offense is actually disgusting.
It's a good
Stroud
one
is
for
so fucking good.
I mean,
He is also good.
the Glaze is crazy.
I mean, that's my guy.
You might-
He was my quarterback.
True.
I'm trying to think. Do you remember off the top of your head how many?
Yo, imagine
yards
Bryce Young had
Kittle
these weapons.
He hit 1K.
Can imagine.
Yeah, 1K. Because I'm trying to think of like other situations that had 3 receivers with a K or near that. Like 49ers, Brandon Ayuk had like 1,300. Debo had like 900. Kittle had like a K. I think the Vikings had like Hawkinson, Thielen, and like
All right.
I'm forgetting. But I mean, it's definitely possible to have like 3 receivers go for 1,000, and I wouldn't doubt that this might be one of those situations.
You guys looking at what I'm seeing on the schedule, week 9 through 18 kind of looks fucking tough.
There's
Jets
no way you can tell me week 9 through 18
Listen,
you know what's going to
Jets,
happen.
Detroit, Dallas, Tennessee,
Twice.
Jacksonville, Miami, KC, Baltimore, Tennessee.
No, they're playing a first
Like,
place
that
schedule.
is-
It's definitely going to
yeah.
be tough. It's just they might be that good. That's the thing. It's like, what's to say that you think they're going to regress? You have another year under D'Amico. You
When
add-
CJ tears his ACL.
You guys with that, it's a disgusting thing you guys do. It really is.
Accurate.
It's really disgusting.
Listen, I
wish
wish the
preying
best for
on
him.
players'
We're not praying
downfalls
for
is a
it.
disgusting
We're not
thing.
praying for it. We're predicting it. Those are two different
Predicting
things.
injuries is also just as disgusting, especially
like-
for CJ. He's such a good guy.
But like outside of this bit me and Gut have with it,
Yeah.
it's like every year you probably just have like an inner vibe, like
No.
someone's gonna get hurt.
I hate
Like
that.
CMC, you don't get that.
But it's
No, I
it's
get
the,
no feeling.
it's the same vibe equally with every player. Like I don't fucking know.
Any player can get hurt any year.
Listen, any player can get hurt any year. It's just this year's CJ.
All right, okay. Let's live in a world where we're not assuming CJ's ACL gets torn.
Okay, and
What's
that's fine.
to say they get worse?
Achilles.
Like they added Mixon and they added Diggs.
No,
Why
I
would they
think-
not
like,
be better?
If I'm gonna be honest, my only
That's
concern
just
would
like an
be
on paper, like
Yeah.
just shit happens. Like there's just
that's
like-
not an. You can't just say shit.
But what?
happens.
But that's how
no,
it
this
is.
is what
Well,
like
that's how everything is. But we're
like
doing a
you could
prediction
do that
video.
about any team. Like oh they got better. Like every team gets better.
No,
in the
that's not
No,
true.
definitely
Many
not.
teams got worse.
okay. On paper, Diggs looks like a great addition. In the locker room, it might not be the same, and that's what you have to think about.
I don't
Diggs
think
is a
it's the
fucking
same thing as
diva.
Buffalo. He knows what situation he just came into.
Does he? Diggs
Obviously.
never has.
He's been in the same situation. And he's been right all the time. He is the number 1 guy and wasn't getting the ball enough.
Okay, so you're gonna tell me Stephon Diggs is gonna come in here and be like, I'm the number 2 behind Nico, and he's gonna let that slide?
No, I think he's going to fight for the number 1, but I think he understands that he's not the absolute number 1. In Buffalo, he was the absolute number 1 and wasn't
And then he
touching the ball
sucked.
enough. He wasn't getting the ball enough. Their offensive
Brother, he
coordinator
had
sucked.
to win the game. He had
I
a
think that's really true. He was getting the ball a lot.
Not
dude to
enough.
win the game. He had a go route that literally went through his fucking hands.
Okay, he dropped the ball. I understand. I'm just saying, like, things went sour for whatever reason in Buffalo.
Okay, so
I think he's more aware of the situation he's coming into.
Okay, yeah, he can be mentally fucking dialed, but what I'm saying is what makes you think that we're gonna get the first half of Buffalo last year, Diggs, instead of the second half?
Regardless,
'Cause if we get
you
the
add
second
a top
half-
10 receiver to this team, how does it not get better? Explain
So
to me
what you're
one
saying is Diggs-
situation where they've
All it takes is Stroud to be like throw 5 more picks than he did last year. That's it. He's just a little more inefficient. That's
for
all it
what
fucking
to
takes.
happen.
For them to not be better, like you're magically saying it's guaranteed. Like just because Diggs on the team, like all it takes is Stroud. Like Stroud could still be good, but if he's not throwing 23 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and now it's 30 touchdowns to 15 interceptions, he's just like a little more reckless. That's all it takes.
Also, their defense rarely gave up over 25 points.
Did
It was
their
under
defense
4
get
games.
worse?
No, but what I'm saying
And
is
they
you're
have
expecting
one
them.
of the best defensive coaches as
But
their
now
head
they're
coach.
they're going from a 4th place schedule to a 1st place
Yeah,
schedule.
no, I agree.
That's drastically different.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing that. Not only you're going to hold every team besides 4 under 25 points
I
again.
think this team can put up 30 points every single game in a dome.
They're not in a dome every game, but that's
Indy's a dome. Home versus Chicago, dome. Minnesota, dome. At home, all those games, dome. Then they go outside twice, but they're back to a dome. They're domed up a lot.
do you know all the domes?
Obviously. I actually watch football.
he goes to the stadium, so I would hope he knows what fucking one's a dome. All right,
I
let
just-
us know
yeah.
your takes in the comments. Let us know what your take on the
Over.
Texans is. If you had a gun to your head,
I
what do
was
you
never saying they're gonna have 9 wins.
gun to your head? What are you taking on this one?
I'm taking the over. I think Stroud is so good.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think he takes a step forward. Also, just like don't want to take the under of 9.5. I don't want to take a Texan under.
Yeah, I think they'll go like 10-7.
All right, and last thing, UD line, you're locking in before the end. Which one you going with from the Texans? You got one line.
Nico
rest of your
over
lives.
Tugs.
I'm taking Nico lower receiving yards.
Nah, that's tough.
I might have to lock it in since you all hate it. That just
Tank
means
Dude,
it's
over
free.
so
touchdowns.
tough.
Tank over Tugs,
All
4.5.
I just locked in ETN, higher touchdowns, Nico lower yards. I'll see you guys
Dude,
in a year.
take the Kirk and Hopkins. The Kirk and Hopkins ones is so good.
Touchdowns is tough.
All right. Well, let us know what you guys are taking in the comments below. Make sure when you're on Underdog taking these lines, you're using code BDGE because you'll get a $250 deposit match. Not only that, you'll get a free Patrick Mahomes square week 1. All he needs is 1 yard, and we cash out. So if we make...
And if you sign up an Underdog with code BDG, you will get our BDG draft guide sent to you for free for fantasy
Damn,
football.
so you're getting a draft guide for fantasy. You're getting $250. I'll put it on the screen if you send it to me. $250. Not only he's just holding it up to the camera. Not only that, you get a Patrick Mahomes square and a draft guide, all just by using our code. Lock in, like the video. Nice.